Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a good day so far. Got a couple stories that we're going to talk about. The first being about Mark Cuban. He's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and he said early on during this week that he would no longer require the team to play the national anthem before any of their home games moving forward. So it was met with some backlash pretty much instantaneously. NBA made a statement as quick as they could because they wanted to stop the fire before it turned into a full-on blaze. And they said the NBA teams moving forward, they're going to follow an NBA tradition of playing the national anthem before every one of their games. So crisis avoided, maybe. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the second story we're going to chat about is Gina Carano. She found herself some controversy because she dared to say a political thing that doesn't go along with the left. So obviously, instead of the left engaging in a thoughtful discussion saying, hey, why do you feel that way? They said, up. You're allowed to be a strong, independent woman if you're a Democrat, but if you're not a Democrat and you're a strong, independent woman, you're a danger to society, so we have to, get rid of your income because we need to silence you. Funny how that works, right? So we're going to talk about that. If it was justified, we'll talk about what she was trying to say, kind of so on and so forth. So actually, we got to talk about Mark. What am I doing? I'm trying to stop talking about him now. So Mark Cuban, I admire him as an entrepreneur, business owner. He's someone that has absolutely embraced capitalism in America, and I can admire that. But he himself has said some, questionable things. I'm not saying everyone's got to say the exact same thing that I'm thinking, but, in regards to him wanting to ban the national anthem before any of the Dallas Mavericks games. Let's kind of chat about that a little bit because the NBA itself has been under some scrutiny for, I'd say, probably the last year and a half or so. And if you go back about, a year and a half ago, the NBA was getting a ton of flack because you had the protests going on in Hong Kong, which people were trying to speak out against. And, the NBA, the Chinese Communist Party, they're pretty interested in the NBA, right? They like the whole ratings. They want to obviously have their money involved in it, get some money coming towards them. They didn't like it. They didn't like people in the NBA. There were a couple coaches, couple players saying that they supported the protests. So the NBA said, hey, you can't speak political statements about this. So it was kind of like, shut up and dribble. But then the NBA allowed people to talk about social justice. So then LeBron James, for example, was allowed to not shut up and dribble, right? He was allowed to talk about social justice and how America's racist and, all this other stuff. So people were kind of like, double standard, what's going on here? And then kind of the other thing in conjunction with the national anthem controversy is you have the NBA and all these people speaking out for social justice. And they're kind of doing the Bird Box challenge when it comes to the Communist Party of China. Because, right now there is, kind of a deletion of a certain group of people within China, and everyone's kind of silent on it, So people are trying to simply say, you're going to protest America, which is the place where you're allowed to protest and stuff like that, but you're not going to use our platform to call out what's going on in China. So they're kind of like, where's your priorities? That's kind of their take on it. So in regards to the national anthem being played before sporting events, here's kind of my position on it. I know it's a, it's a long-standing tradition, and a lot of people say, it's a patriotic thing to do, and it's a political thing. That's what some people say. My take is, the national anthem really shouldn't be political. You know what I mean? Like, living in America, you should just kind of understand, what the national anthem itself is about and what America is about. So I kind of, look at people a little strange when they say, well, we shouldn't, if you don't want to make political statements, don't play the national anthem. I just personally don't view the national anthem as a political thing. I just kind of view it as, something that Americans do. That's just my initial take. But in regards to it being played before sporting events, I'll be real, I can kind of go either way because I do like hearing it. I'm really all for this country. But then I'm also kind of like, I guess the libertarian in me is kind of like, well, you know what, we shouldn't necessarily force people. And kind of another caveat, like something else to think about is, say someone doesn't want to play it, that should kind of tell you, what their feelings are. You know what I mean? So if we forced everyone to play it, you really wouldn't be able to tell who really likes it here and who doesn't like here. Do you kind of understand what it is I'm trying to say? So I'm not necessarily sure if people should be allowed to play it, shouldn't be allowed to play it. I mean, the NBA made a statement and they said, hey, it's getting played. So, hey, that's league rules. The NBA commission said it, so, you guys got to follow along. But I'm just kind of speaking on, more of like an individual level. Like if somebody doesn't want to play it, somebody doesn't want to listen to it and whatnot, I think they should definitely have the freedom to do so. And I'm kind of more so open to it, because then, at least from my perspective, then I know where you kind of stand, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think about that one, because I know can get a little some muddy waters in that one. But let's talk about Gina Carano now. So super accomplished individual, and hey, she was rocking and rolling during The Mandalorian. So she made the comparison that being a conservative or a Republican or a free thinker, really in this case, in America today is similar to being a Jew in Nazi Germany, obviously, right, during the 30s and 40s. So, of course, people, immediately jump on the bandwagon. Oh my God, you're anti-Semitic. How you do that? How dare you say that? So on and so forth. So really all she was trying to say was that, in Nazi Germany, the hate for Jewish people didn't come overnight. It was this slow progression. And it really started with people within the government, higher ups, really inciting this hatred towards the Jewish people. So then it kind of became the norm that the average citizens of Germany would then, recreate and, carry out the heinous acts that the people at the top were kind of talking about. So when the time came for them to be rounded up and put on the train cars to be taken to the camps, there was really no, backlash about it. Like the public itself was really kind of for it. So she was simply trying to say, if you're someone living in America today and you hate someone just because they have the wrong political opinion, you might not realize it, but you're really knocking on the doorsteps of, what Nazi Germany started with. You know what I mean? Like before, it was really the fascist regime that it became. It had to obviously come from somewhere. So she's simply just trying to point out that comparison, just to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't hate people for religious reasons. Maybe you shouldn't hate people for political reasons. It's shallow, it's fragile, things of that nature. So you had people just have completely visceral reactions because, one, I think people don't necessarily understand what she was trying to say. I think that they just react to the emotional side, right? Obviously, we know the past 4 years, that's what a lot of people have been doing, emotions first before facts. But then the other reason why I think people have such negative reactions towards it is because they're starting to realize that maybe they're not the good guys. So let's kind of expand on that a little bit. So if you're someone who always says that people on the right are the authoritarians, they're the fascists, for whatever reason, I think you kind of have to look at yourself in the mirror, because if you're on the side that you're in favor of canceling people for having the wrong opinion and saying you need to conform your ideologies and your thoughts to our thoughts, or else we're going to take away your income, we're going to cancel you from making future incomes, we're going to disrupt your livelihood, etc., etc. If you're in that camp, you're the authoritarian. So maybe, just maybe, the reason why you don't want someone like Gina Carano speaking out against you is because she's exposing the truth, right? Like she's removing the cover from who you really are. And that's kind of my particular take as to why she got thrown off the bus at Disney Plus, is because, well, she's got the wrong political opinion first and foremost, but she's the one having the strength to speak out and say, hey, you know what? The people on the left, you always say that you're the ones for unity and you're the rational ones, but you're kind of proven, otherwise. And I think they kind of proved her right by firing her from Disney Plus. So what do you think? You think Gina Carano should have been fired? Do you absolutely love Gina Carano for speaking out against all the, leftist BS and, trying to make a statement? I think obviously she might have a rough month or so, but I think she's going to get picked up for a new role by someone who says, hey, I admire you for being a free thinker. You want to put politics aside and just, work an awesome actress role? She's probably going to be like, hell yeah, let's do it. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. And then obviously circling back to the Mark Cuban story, do you think he should have had the right to stop playing the National Anthem before any of the Dallas Mavericks home games? Do you think that the NBA made the right call saying, nope, every team's got to play it? And kind of what's your thoughts? Should people, I guess we'll kind of ask this one too, should people be allowed to kneel for the anthem? Are you saying everyone should have to stand for it? Let me know your thoughts on that. I want to get an idea of where you stand regarding that particular topic. But hey, go enjoy your weekend, all right? Who knows what news will break as of Monday morning, but try and enjoy yourself. And hey, appreciate you checking out the video. I hope you'll be back again for some more sometime soon.